Let me ask you something. When you walk into a home, what's the first thing you notice? The kitchen? The floors? The light? Most buyers fall in love with what they can see, but what really protects your investment is understanding what's hiding behind the walls, under the floors, and above the ceiling. So today, I want to take you on what I like to call an inspection red flags tour. And here's what's interesting. I've brought along a licensed home inspector to show you the top 10 risks we consistently find in Chicago homes, so you can make smarter, calmer, and more confident decisions before you commit. Let's take a look. First, foundation and basement issues. In Chicago, basements are common, and so is water intrusion. What most people don't realize is that small cracks today can quietly turn into expensive structural problems tomorrow. So if you notice damp walls, musty smells, or water stains, it's worth asking what's really happening behind this surface, because drainage and foundation repairs are never small ticket items. Old roofs. Chicago weather doesn't play nice. Hot summers, lake winds, heavy snow. And here's the thing, if the roof is over 20 years old, it's not a question of if it needs replacing, it's usually when. So instead of guessing, it makes sense to find out now while you still have negotiating power. 3, electrical problems. A lot of classic Chicago homes still have outdated wiring and undersized panels. What's important to know is it isn't just about convenience, it can affect safety and even your ability to get insurance. So rather than assuming it's fine, it's smarter to ask, is this system built for how people live today? Plumbing issues. Older Chicago properties often use cast iron or galvanized pipes. What's interesting is that they corrode from the inside out, meaning everything looks fine until suddenly it doesn't. Weak pressure, rust-colored water, slow drains are often your early warning signs, and catching it early can save thousands. HVAC systems. Chicago winters are no joke. If a furnace is over 20 years old, it's usually living on borrowed time. So instead of being surprised later, it makes sense to ask now, what will it cost me to be comfortable in this home? Because inefficient systems don't just fail, they quietly drive your bills higher every month. Windows and insulation. Many vintage homes still have single windows or poor insulation. And what that means is you're paying to heat the outdoors in January. So energy efficiency isn't just nice to have, it's part of protecting your monthly budget and your resale value. Masonry and brickwork. Chicago is famous for greystones and brick two-flats, but crumbling mortar, cracked lintels, or damaged brick let water in, and water always finds a way to cause trouble. Tuck pointing is common here, but it's not cheap, which is why knowing the condition up front gives you leverage instead of surprises. Attic and roof ventilation. Most buyers never think about the attic, but what happens up there affects the entire house. Poor ventilation can cause ice dams in winter and mold in warmer months. So if airflow isn't right, it's not just a comfort issue, it becomes a maintenance and health issue over time. Hazardous materials. In older homes, you'll sometimes find lead paint or asbestos. Now, that doesn't automatically mean don't buy. What it means is let's understand the risk and the cost before moving forward. Because smart buyers don't avoid problems, they price them correctly. DIY or under-permitted work. One of the biggest red flags inspectors see is unpermitted renovations, basements, additions, electrical upgrades that look good but aren't code compliant. And here's why that matters. If it wasn't done properly, it can affect safety, financing, insurance, and future resale. So instead of hoping it's okay, it makes sense to verify it while you still have options. So there you have it, 10 of the most common inspection red flags we see here in Chicago homes. And remember, no property is perfect. The goal isn't to find a flawless house. It's to understand exactly what you're walking into before you commit your money and your peace of mind. That's why I'm always recommending working with a trusted inspector and a local agent who knows what it really matters in Chicago homes. I'm Rosen with Keller Williams here in Chicago, and if you're thinking about buying or selling and you'd like an honest guide on your inspections, repairs, or what to watch out for, let's have a quick conversation. Even if you're just exploring ideas, it's always helpful to know your options. Thanks for joining me on today's Inspection Red Flags tour, and I'll see you on the next video.